What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, and today, guys, we are going to be diving into 10 Blu-rays and 4Ks from the year of 1989 that I think you need to add to your collection. 10 movies from the year of 1989. This, of course, is a part of my ongoing series. I've already gone all the way. We are at the end, guys. I didn't even realize it until just now, but we are at the end of the 80s. So the next video that I do in this series, which will probably drop pretty soon, I'm going to film a couple of these back to back, is going to be the 90s. We get to finally get to the 90s. I love the 80s. I really love the 80s. It probably is my favorite decade. Definitely has some of my most nostalgic picks for sure. But the 90s, I feel like, is going to have some bangers in it that I just cannot wait to talk about. But when I was looking at 1989, first off, before we get into it, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We discuss physical media, movies, and stuff like that on this channel every single day. 4K, Blu-ray reviews, unboxings, all that kind of stuff. If you like that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button. Also, be sure to hit the like button and comment down below, guys. I feel like I'm going to make some people mad with this video because when I was looking into it, there are a lot of great movies from 1989. And I don't feel like outside of maybe a few, maybe like 3 or 4, I don't feel like I have a lot of picks that people would put at the top of their list for 1989. Look, a lot of these movies I either don't own or I haven't seen. So if you've got some recommendations, if you have some movies from 1989 that you love, I want you to comment those down below. Before we get into it, though, I do want to call out, there are 4 movies when I was going, there's a lot of great movies in this year. There are 4 movies from this year that when I was going through 1989 and I looked at it, I was like, why do I not own these 4 movies? Some of them I don't feel like have like really good physical media editions, but Parenthood I don't have in the collection. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is an all-time classic from 1989 from my childhood that I love, that I don't have in my collection. I think that's like a Disney Movie Club exclusive or something. She-Devil with Roseanne and Meryl Streep. I love that movie so much. That is a movie that to me should have like a Scream Factory, Shout Factory, something. It needs some kind of boutique release. I love She-Devil though. And The Wizard, which does have a Shout Factory release, which for whatever reason I didn't get. So those are 4 movies, just kind of classic movies from my childhood that I love from 1989. Don't have in my collection, but let's jump right into it, guys. Let's get into one of the movies. Look, there's a lot of movies in this stack, honestly, that are responsible for me even loving movies. But this is definitely probably up there as one of the like top 3 most influential movies for me, just as a moviegoer, as a film fan. This one really just started it all. Started my love for superhero movies. You know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about Batman 1989. This is the Batman movie, guys. This is the Batman movie. We would not have superhero movies like we do today if it wasn't for Batman from 1989, starring Michael Keaton. You got Jack Nicholson as the Joker. So freaking good, so iconic as the Joker in this movie. And I just love Batman 1989. Michael Keaton to me is not only a great Batman, he's a great Bruce Wayne. He's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. I think Christian Bale is a great Bruce Wayne, not so much a great Batman. I think Ben Affleck is a great Batman, not so much a Bruce Wayne. So everybody, George Clooney is a great nothing, and Val Kilmer was a great Bruce Wayne. Everybody's like a great, like one or the other, I feel like. You know, Robert Pattinson was a great Batman, not a great Bruce Wayne. Now he does have time to develop. Whereas Michael Keaton, to me, was the best of both worlds. He was a great Batman and he was a great Bruce Wayne. And that sequence at the beginning, like when you're introduced to Michael Keaton's Batman for the first time and he grabs that guy, "Don't kill me, don't kill me, man. I'm not going to kill you, but I want you to tell your friends about me. I'm Batman." The coldness in his voice, the way he delivers that line is so freaking incredible. Michael Keaton, I love this movie so much. I love Batman Returns as well. You might see that show up on my list later on down the line. But look, Batman is a classic. It's an all-time classic. It is a quintessential superhero film. It is one of the most important superhero movies of all time. If you want to know why you got all this superhero goodness stuff going on today, it's because of the legacy of Batman 1989. This is a trailblazer of a movie right here. And yeah, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moon of light? You can get Batman 89 on Blu-ray. I don't have this movie on 4K. I'm talking all this crap about this movie, how much I love it. I still don't own it on 4K for whatever reason. But you can get it on Blu-ray, guys, for $5 if you want to go the cheaper route. You can get Batman 89 on Blu-ray. But if you want the 4K, it is available for $23.90. But I highly recommend you wait. Because a lot of times it's in like a big multi-pack with the other ones, Batman Returns and Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. And that usually goes down to like 40, 50 bucks like every couple months, I feel like. So maybe wait on that before you jump in and buy Batman by itself. So let's get into my next recommendation. This is where you guys are going to look at me and you're going to be like, huh? But look, if you've been subscribed to the channel for any length of time, you know my love for this franchise, for this movie. This is like in my top 3 Friday the 13th films, guys. And that is Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. Yes, I love Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. Again, I know a lot of people do not like this movie. I love this movie. I'm super nostalgic for it. When I was a kid, like this is the one I would always want to go to and rewatch. I just loved it. I thought it was so much fun. I know he's on a boat for a lot of the movie. A lot of people thought that was misleading or whatever, but he does eventually get to Manhattan and he does eventually kind of sort of take over Manhattan or Vancouver or whatever you want to say. But I think it's super fun. I think it has some fun kills. I love all the stuff on the boat. I actually think the boat provides a very claustrophobic environment for Jason to be picking everybody off. So I think that adds to the tension of this movie. So yeah, he doesn't like fully on take over Manhattan the whole movie. But I think the boat sequence is actually really good. And there's a lot of cool kills in this one. I think Jason's awesome. Again, Kane Hodder, the legendary Kane Hodder plays him in this movie. And I love Jason Takes Manhattan. I think it's super underrated. And I think none of people appreciate this one. And I am awaiting the Paramount Steelbook for sure. But this, you can, even if you don't like the movie, you cannot deny how awesome that poster is right there and how awesome this would be as a steelbook. So Paramount, get on the steelbook for Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. Don't make me wait till 2029. And if you want to get this Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan, you can't really buy it by itself, but you can get the, you know, of course, Friday the 13th Scream Factory collector set for about $95 right now. Or you can also go the Friday the 13th 8-movie collection route from Paramount for $46.37 if you want to go a little bit of the cheaper route. But you cannot get this standalone. This is a part of the Scream Factory box set. So let's go ahead and jump into, this next movie. I'm not the biggest fan of this movie, but I know a lot of people are, so I wanted to bring it up. And that is Tango and Cash. And it's got two of the greatest, like, action heroes, actors of all time. I love both of these people, but this movie, for whatever reason, it just didn't click for me. Like I think I liked like the last 30 minutes of it. But the first hour, I don't know, I just wasn't really into it. Maybe I need to watch it again or something because I just love Stallone and Kurt Russell so much. So it just doesn't compute with me that this movie, like, I wouldn't enjoy. I didn't get it. Like when I was done, I was like, that's two of my favorite people in it together, but I didn't love it. What's going on? What's wrong with me? Am I broken? But Tango and Cash, look, I know it's a huge movie. A lot of people love this movie. A lot of people are super nostalgic for this movie. So you can get Tango and Cash right now on Blu-ray if you don't own it for $6.98. So a fairly cheap price for this. And I know this is a Warner Brothers release. I know people would eat this up if it came out on 4K. So definitely put that one out on 4K. For sure, sooner rather than later, Warner Bros. Come on, what are you waiting for? And we definitely had a lot of franchises in 1989, a ton of franchises that were either continuing or concluding their respected series. And the next one we got to talk about is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yes, this came out in 1989. And this was an insane year for like big budget like sequels and blockbusters and stuff. Like we've already talked about Batman 1989, and we got some other bangers coming for sure. But Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is a great Indiana Jones movie. Now, I will probably say, to be honest, this is probably my second favorite Indiana Jones movie. My first favorite is Temple of Doom, but I love the addition of Sean Connery in this movie. I think it's a really nice story, just kind of them working together and just the camaraderie between the two of them. They just have a natural chemistry. Like these are two of the most charismatic actors of all time on screen together in a movie. Sean Connery, Harrison Ford. They pull it off brilliantly, and it's one of the better stories in the Indiana Jones franchise for sure. But Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade on Blu-ray right now, guys, you can get for $12.89. But it is available in a 4K Steelbook right now for about 23 bucks, or you can just get like the big pack with all the movies in it for about 40, 50 bucks right now. But Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I still have my Blu-ray because I just like that artwork on it. But yeah, for sure that is a recommendation. Now let's get into, this is the one y'all are gonna, just like Jason Takes Manhattan, you're gonna roll your eyes at this one. But I watched this year. There was so much hype about this one being the worst of the franchise, and I didn't think that it was. So I got to talk about it. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, directed by William Shatner, the only Star Trek movie that was directed by William Shatner. I had a good time with this one. I like the villain in this movie, Sybok, and I like the story and the relationship and the development between Kirk and Spock. I think they have some really great moments in this movie together. So I really enjoyed Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. It wasn't my favorite of all the movies. I watched all the Star Treks. Just to put it in perspective, into context, I watched all the Star Trek movies for the first time this year. So I'm not a lifelong fan of this franchise at all. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but I had a fun time with Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. Actually, I have a full franchise breakdown on the channel with my buddy over at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. He's a huge Star Trek fan, so I brought him in to talk about this movie. And yeah, I like this movie. Yeah, it's not my least favorite of the franchise, or at least of the first 6 for sure. I really like Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. And you can get this right now in 4K, guys, for $18.99. So not a bad deal at all. But also, I see this on Blu-ray all the time at like Big Lots for like $3 or $4. So maybe stop by there, see if you can find it at your local Big Lots for sure. Now let's get into the next pick, and this is a movie starring Anthony Perkins. This is Edge of Sanity. This is a really awesome horror flick that I watched this year. This is an Arrow video release. And yeah, Anthony Perkins is a great actor, obviously Psycho, but like he went on to do some incredible work in other movies, and this is one of them. This is kind of like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde fused with Jack the Ripper. It kind of takes from both of those like classic stories. It's very gory. It's certainly very sexual in nature as well. It's very sexually charged. But I really enjoyed this one a lot. I think Anthony Perkins is phenomenal in this movie. I think I have a review for this one up on the channel actually, but you can get this Arrow video release for $19.99 currently. And let's jump right into another Arrow video release. And this is another one that you guys are going to be like, what? Really? 1989 has so many great movies, Ken. Why are you bringing out Phantom of the Mall? Well, look at this. I'm just going to bring this up because I like to show off this chunky box set from Arrow Video. Now, this is a Blu-ray, not a 4K, but this is such a great box set. Look, let me tell you why you should get this. It's not a great movie. I'm not going to say it's a great movie. It's about a guy that gets burnt at the beginning, and then he stalks people in the mall, like through the vents, and picks people off and kills people in the mall. But look, it's a fun, schlocky horror film, B-level horror film, slasher film from the 80s, and it's got Pauly Shore in it. It's one of Pauly Shore's first movies, films. It's like his film debut. And yeah, that's why you should watch. It's got Pauly Shore, and it's got some slasher mall fun. I like any movie that's set in a mall. I'm just really nostalgic for that mall setting. So this movie just checks all those boxes for me. And it's a super fun time. And I don't think you can still get this chunky Arrow set, but you can get the standard edition right now for $19.99. And yeah, I recommend it. It's got some great special features in it as well. It's got multiple cuts. I think it's got like a TV cut and a theatrical cut. So a bunch of different cuts with that one. So I do recommend Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. Now let's get into, look, we've got some serious movies, guys. I know I kind of went off the rails a little bit. I got Jason Takes Manhattan. I got Phantom of the Mall in here. I got Star Trek V. We've got some good movies coming. Let's talk about Do the Right Thing. I got this beautiful steelbook right here. Now this steelbook was a Target exclusive, and I don't know if you can still get this at Target. You probably can't get it unless you get on eBay, but it's such a gorgeous steelbook. Now, if you want the 4K to this one, it's actually pretty cheap right now. It is $14.29, but Do the Right Thing is an incredible film directed by Spike Lee. I hope we get more. We're getting ready to get Malcolm X, but I hope we get more Spike Lee films in 4K for sure. But this movie looks great in 4K. Now, it also has a Criterion version, which I have back there. I didn't bring up here. Now, that's going, again, in the sale, because we have the Criterion sale going right now, that's going to be $19.99. But it'll go back up to $27.99 after that sale. So I had to double dip on that because that Criterion is beautiful. Like, I don't even care if the transfer isn't as good as this 4K. I have to own that Criterion because that is a beautiful Criterion with a big booklet in it and posters and just everything. I love that that Criterion edition so much. But this is such an awesome steelbook that I had to double dip. Just a really great movie with a great social and cultural commentary on race in the 80s. And I just think it's a phenomenal film with some great performances. There's all kinds of awesome like people in this movie that would go on to do great things later on. You have Sam Jackson in this movie. Martin Lawrence is in this movie. Giancarlo Esposito is in this movie. Gus from Breaking Bad and the main DeLorean as well. All kinds of great actors. Rosie Perez is in this movie. And it's just a phenomenal movie. It's a very powerful movie. Great direction, great cinematography, a beautiful film to look at. And I do love this movie. It's probably, to me, I struggle with this one, and Malcolm X is my favorite Spike Lee film, but I might pick Do the Right Thing. It's just a very raw movie. It's just a very, like, I don't know, just super like realistic. Again, it's very cinematic, but also it's a very real film when you're watching it. It just feels like there was real heart and emotion put into the production of this film, and you feel it through every second of this movie. So I love Do the Right Thing. I highly recommend that you pick that one up. Now let's get into my last two are very nostalgic picks. Like, I've been watching both of these movies since I was very young. Pet Sematary from 1989. And of course, I've got the 4K edition. This movie, to me, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's so creepy. It's so eerie. There is a person in this movie by the name of Zelda that is pure nightmare fuel. She will freak you out. She will haunt your dreams for years to come. Absolutely incredible, amazing. Also, you got Miko Hughes in this movie playing the young boy who was also in Wes Craven's The New Nightmare. He is scary as hell as well. Like, when he comes back, when he's kind of resurrected, scary as hell. But I love this movie. It has a scene that's, as a parent, is just super hard to watch now, but it was super hard to watch when I was a kid as well, but it's even harder to watch now. It's just a very creepy, eerie vibe of a movie. And again, it's Stephen King adaptation. It's probably one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. It's definitely up there, probably top 3, top 5 Stephen King adaptation for me. But this 4K right now, you can get for $20-$25, absolutely worth it. This is a great 4K transfer. This is a great horror movie. They did a remake a couple of years ago. I didn't hate the remake. I thought the remake was pretty good, but it was nothing compared to this one. You cannot beat Fred Gwynn in this movie when he delivers that line, "Sometimes dead is better." John Lithgow tried. He tried, but he did not succeed. So definitely pick up Pet Sematary. This has a lot of new special features in it as well. So yeah, this is a great one. Paramount did a great job on this Pet Sematary edition, this 30th anniversary edition. Now let's talk about the last one. I'm going to have to pull this out of the pack because I have a digipack to show off here. But I could not talk about Back to the Future Part 2. I love Back to the Future Part 2. Now, it's probably, if I'm being honest, it's probably my least favorite of the trilogy, but I still love the movie with every single part of me. I just really grown to love the third one in recent years, and the first one's the first one. You can't beat the first one. But Back to the Future Part 2 is so much fun. It was my favorite when I was a kid just because I loved how they went back to the past, they went to the future, they went to the present, and there was an altered present. Like, there was just so much going on. It was just so big, almost larger than life, just so many things. I love the whole sports almanac storyline. Just so many great stuff. This is a timeless movie. I love Back to the Future Part 2. Mom, you sure know how to hydrate a pizza. I love all that stuff. The movie is excellent. Back to the Future 2 is an absolute classic. I love all the Back to the Future movies so much. They're all like 5 out of 5s for me. But the one that I need to bring up real quick that some of you guys might be like, I can't believe you didn't bring that one up. I don't own Ghostbusters 2. I love Ghostbusters 2. I don't love it as much as the original. The original is better. But I don't know. On some days, I might say Ghostbusters 2 is better. I love Ghostbusters 2 so much, but for whatever reason, I don't own that movie at all. I don't know why. I need to get it for sure. So look, guys, that is my 10 Blu-rays and 4Ks from 1989 that I think you need to have in your collection. Definitely a lot of great films and a couple of ones that you guys are probably scratching your head at, but I like them, so I put them on the list. There's a lot of other stuff that I definitely need to see, but again, leave me your picks for 1989 in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description. Turn on those bell notifications, and we'll see you next time.